Alright, good afternoon everyone that is watching this video. So today I want to explain how I created this cyberpunk city environment in Unity 3D. So I used a URP, Universal Render Pipeline, and I I discussed with my team like what theme they want for the map because we need to reuse it for the final project. So we all agreed on cyberpunk theme city, and I get the map theme is sky bridges. So I created the sky bridge like this sky bridge, but the I was thinking if I make too much sky bridge maybe it will be too much, so I just created like the connector between two buildings is like just a plank like this, a wooden plank, so the player can walk on. And I also uses a zip line to connect between two buildings. Yeah. And actually the map itself is a dark themed map with a low light source for like the directional light because I deleted the directional light, and I just added some spotlights like this one is a white color and this one is a yellow color, like a warmer tone. So I did this on purpose, different color, so to make more variation. And for the billboards I use emission. Emission is to make the material glow, so I put a color of the emission and turn on the emission. So now all the billboards, like all the advertisements, is like glowing, as you can see here. Even this one is glowing. Yeah, this one is very visible, yeah, the glowing. And for the animated object, I decided to just create like car and like a floating car. So this car is actually a bus, sorry, and I added an animation of it to move to the bus stop slowly, waiting for a while, and then it goes to the second point and also wait a while. So for the animation of each car, I added a lot of different delays. So for example, in this taxi, it just straight away goes, but for the bus, it wait for like 3 seconds, right, before going. And I did it on purpose so that the cars didn't collapse, didn't crash to each other. So like this one goes first. Yeah, the bus waits for a while this taxi is going. At the third minute, it's still waiting here. At the third minute, it's still waiting. And at the end, this one is already going, right? Until the 8th minute. I mean 8th second. Or is it 8 minutes? I think it's 8 seconds. Yeah. And it waits. The taxi waits and then it goes. So I did this for every car in the environment. Like this one is a police car chasing a criminal car and they're both floating. So for this one, obviously I cannot put delay on these two because they must keep on going in the same pace. So I just put the exact same keyframes, like the time for both. So they will be going the same pace to that direction. For the other one, I added some delays to make them more alive, yeah. So it doesn't statically the same cars moving. So it's like some delays, this car moves first and then this car moves. yeah, just to make it feel more natural. And that's it for the animated object, I guess. And oh yeah, I also added the weapon. They can rotate like the rotating coin in assignment 1. But obviously I cannot show it here. But it is rotating. But very slowly to the right, to the clockwise direction. It's the same for every weapon. They all rotated. And I think next I want to explain about the timeline. The timeline I create is using the Cinemachine camera. So I have in total around 30 cameras set on different environments. So the first one is showing the whole overview. The second one is showing the whole overview of the downtown. And the second one is showing the from this view. So each camera have different directions to show. So like on this one, it shows from this angle. In the first one, it shows from here. So I put the directions of the camera in variant so that the people watching will see every single angle on the map so they can feel that they are in the map. I also put some angles like below the flyover, and also I also put one here as the final camera so it shows the entire map at the end. And I think it's really interesting view from here. You can literally see everything from here. And yeah, I think the Cinemachine placement is really crucial on the timeline video, because if you don't make the angle of the camera interesting, it will not be interesting, the video. So yeah, I just tested multiple times, replaying the start the machine a lot of time until I get the transition very smooth. And the transition between the scenes is also very well measured, because I already tested how long does it take for people to not be bored to be looking at the video. I mean for each scene. So for each scene, I decided that 2 seconds is enough for each scene. So after 2 seconds, it will move to the next camera. Because if it's too long, people will get bored. But if it's too fast, the video will feel too rushed. So that's why I decided on 2 seconds. I think it's the middle point. So I think it's okay. Yeah, I think that's it for the timeline. And then for the inspiration, I actually take inspiration from the game called Cyberpunk 2077. And I actually didn't straight away like do the assignment, because I do some research for like 2 or 3 days to analyze how does a cyberpunk environment look like how is the shading, the lighting, and the shape of the building, the neon signs, and the floating cars. I have to know every single aspect to make the perfect, I cannot say the perfect, the best that I can do. Yeah, so I actually do a lot of research on the game Cyberpunk 2077, and I even watched some of the gameplays. And I think this is a real pretty close enough to that game vibe. So yeah, that's for the creative aspect of the development process. And I think I added this zipline mechanic, as you can see here. This zipline mechanic is from the game Call of Duty Mobile. Yeah. Or maybe almost every single FPS game that I've played have this mechanic, zipline mechanic. So you go here and you will follow the zip line and you will go to here. You will travel. This is like a form of travel. And below the weapons and the ammo, I put this circular glowing light similar to the Fortnite. As you can see, in the Fortnite, the weapons have glow, like below them or in the item. So that's why I decided to take inspiration from Fortnite to put this to emphasize that the player will know that this is a collectible item. And yeah, I think the next one I want to explain is about the pause effect. Yeah, the pause effect. So I added a global volume and I added a lot of pause effects. The first one I want to talk about is the bloom effect. The bloom effect is used to create the neon sides to look more brighter. So if you play around with the bloom variable, the intensity, it will it will makes the bloom more better. Yeah. So you just have to try on that one, and this will make the neon looks brighter and like better lah in overall. And there's also another one which is color adjustments. This is only for the color palette. So like I adjust the exposure, contrast, and saturation. And for the tone mapping, I use the ACS mode, so it will have a more deeper structured color. And I also use vignette and chromatic aberration. Chromatic aberration is like the glitchy effect in most of the Cyberpunk games. As you can see here, this have like a glitchy effect, right? If I turn this off, it will not have anything. But if I put it on a max, you can really see the glitchy effect. So I didn't want it too much because else people will be so like their head will be hurting if they see it too glitchy like that. So I just set it to a low value. And for the motion blur, it's for the video, for the camera, so I cannot show it. So actually, yeah, the motion blur is actually very affecting. And I think that's all for the post effects. And for the FPS design principles, yeah. So for the FPS, I think I played a couple of FPSs before, and what I can analyze is FPS needs to be really, really action based. So I will make the player start from here, and then there's some enemy here, enemy there. In every single building, there are some enemies, and they can take cover behind here because the enemy will be here. They can take cover here, and if the enemy is here, they can take cover in here. So yeah, I think FPS is actually action based, and if the player manage to go down to the city, because they will go here, go up using zipline, go here, and then they will go from here and roll down there. They will eventually go here, right? And the next step is supposed to be the player going up to the building for the final stage, which is here, the sky bridge. But if the player managed to go down here and want to explore the map, I already closed most of the gaps. So player will not be able to explore outside the map because as you can see, here is blank, right? I don't want the player go there. So I just limit them inside the city. Even here you can see I put some blockage so the player cannot go there, yeah. So yeah, in every single building I put a gap. I mean I put a wall between the gap so the player cannot go out. And for the overall FPS design principles, I think it's pretty complete with all the weapons, ammos, enemy, map building, gameplay mechanics, and coverages. Coverage is like a place where the player can hide, like this block example. Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah, so I think that's all that I can say for this video, and thank you for watching.